Ever notice how the loudest, flashiest warriors vanish from history as soon as the dust settles? Meanwhile, the quiet samurai, those who never bothered to show off, left a permanent mark on the world. Today, we'll see how Gohan realized that cocky boasting leads nowhere, while true legacy comes from humble mastery. Miss out and you'll shout into a void. Stay and learn the subtle art of shining without showing off. Part 1. The Need for Validation. Gohan finds himself scrolling through social media late at night, refreshing his feed every few seconds. He posts photos of every minor success, hitting the gym once, finishing half a book, or even cooking a new recipe. Then waits, eyes locked on the screen, craving that spike of likes and comments. When the notifications do come, it's exciting at first, but the thrill fades fast, leaving him restless and wanting more. He can't figure out why this cycle of bragging never truly fills the emptiness he feels inside. He realizes he's been doing the same at work too. Any small achievement becomes a humble brag, slipped into conversation so everyone notices. Yet deep down, he suspects all this external applause hasn't improved his self-esteem. It's made him more anxious than ever. The craving for applause is like a bottomless pit. Every short-lived high from a compliment just leads him to seek out the next one, as if he's chasing a wave that constantly slips away. This is a universal trap. So many of us live for external validation, trading genuine growth for the quick dopamine hit of social approval. It can spark anxiety, insecurity, and ironically, less genuine respect from others. When your self-worth depends on how loud you can announce your wins, you lose track of what truly matters: honest skill and personal fulfillment. Now Gohan stumbles across a samurai teaching that flips his perspective. While researching Miyamoto Musashi's legacy, he learns that the samurais who boasted the loudest often fell into obscurity, overshadowed by those who quietly mastered their craft. It hits him. Perhaps he should focus on building real skill, not showing it off. Intrigued, Gohan decides to explore this concept further. Little does he know, this single lesson, don't flaunt your abilities, will fundamentally shift how he pursues success. Part 2. Samurai Principle, Hiding One's Blade. Gohan's discovery begins with a single passage about Musashi, the legendary samurai who rarely bragged about his conquests. The more Gohan reads, the more he realizes Musashi deliberately underplayed his victories. Despite winning countless duels, he never paraded his triumphs around like a trophy. He simply moved on to the next challenge. This was part of a deeper code, to maintain the humility of a warrior who measures skill by personal mastery, not by outside applause. Gohan is stunned to learn that many samurai who tried to gain fame through loud boasting ended up forgotten, overshadowed by those who quietly refined their craft. Central to Bushido, the samurai code of honor, is the idea that respect is earned by the blade's performance, not by the warrior's mouth. Bragging, in fact, was seen as a weakness of character, an attempt to compensate for inner insecurity. True skill, the code taught, needs no advertisement. Gohan reflects on this and sees how opposite it is from the modern show your highlight reel mindset he's grown accustomed to. If Musashi, a man who literally risked his life in every duel, didn't feel the need to trumpet his wins, maybe there's a lesson for the rest of us. Why does don't show off work so well? Boasting ties your self-esteem to the opinions of others. If they don't applaud, you feel worthless. If they do, you're on a temporary high. Over time, you become addicted to that high, never developing solid inner confidence. By contrast, silent competence puts the focus on real growth. Without the habit of "look at me," you funnel that energy into developing skill, knowledge, or mastery. People are innately drawn to someone who quietly excels. There's a mystique in someone who doesn't need to talk a big game. This logic even holds in the current social media culture. If everyone's screaming for attention, ironically, you may stand out more by not yelling your achievements from the rooftops. Being the silent pro in a sea of loud talkers can create genuine intrigue. Gohan starts thinking, perhaps the best form of validation is not needing it. If samurai tradition valued quiet mastery to the point that history remembers them for their deeds, not their words, maybe he should adopt that mindset too. The question, of course, is how Gohan can actually apply these samurai lessons to his day-to-day life. Understanding the principle is one thing, living it is another. That's where the next 3 steps come. Part 3. 3-step method to quiet success. Step 1. Shift from external to internal validation. Gohan's first move is to break the habit of living off other people's reactions. Up until now, each minor achievement went straight to social media. A quick post, a few likes, and then the hollow feeling returned. To change that, he starts journaling every day. Instead of announcing he ran 2 miles or wrote 100 words, he simply notes it in a personal log. This journal becomes a mirror, reflecting his true efforts without the need for digital applause. Over time, Gohan realizes his self-esteem improves because he's tracking real progress. I did this, not they saw this. By focusing on internal validation, he no longer depends on fickle outside opinions. Step 2. Carefully choose who sees your progress. Samurai rarely displayed their full potential to bystanders. They tested skills among worthy peers or mentors, ensuring feedback was honest and constructive. Gohan adopts a similar approach. Instead of blasting every new endeavor to hundreds of acquaintances online, he narrows down to a tight group, a mentor he trusts, a close friend who gives blunt but fair criticism, and perhaps one more confidant with complementary skills. This small circle knows he's working on something, so when they see his improvements, their feedback carries real weight. By skipping the big, "Hey everyone, look at me" announcement, Gohan stays focused on actual growth. These select allies keep him accountable and offer meaningful insights, removing the shallow praise that does little for genuine development. Step 3. Invest in real skill development. Gohan now diverts the energy he used to spend curating a social media persona into honing his craft. Whether it's practicing a martial art, learning a new language, or mastering a job-related skill, he commits to daily effort behind the scenes. Like a samurai sharpening his sword in private, he invests relentless time and attention into building depth. Then, when opportunities arise, like a competition, a project, or a showcase, his expertise is evident without him needing to announce it. People notice something different, a quiet confidence that can't be faked. Gohan sees that, as the samurai say, his sword speaks for itself. Part 4. Gohan's transformation. Gohan begins his quiet revolution by following each of the 3 steps. At first, he struggles with the urge to post small wins, but now he pauses and asks, "Why do I need anyone else to see this?" Instead of sharing, he opens his private journal and writes a simple entry. Ran 3 miles, felt strong. This small act feels odd at first. He's so used to that digital hit of approval. But he notices something important. The pleasure of having achieved something doesn't vanish just because no one else sees it. In fact, it deepens because it belongs completely to him. As weeks pass, Gohan realizes he's spending less time refreshing his feed, waiting for notifications. With no pressure to perform or stage his successes for an audience, he finds more time to actually work on meaningful goals. He invests hours into mastering the craft he's set his heart on, whether it's martial arts, coding, or creative writing. He also opens up only to his mentor and a close friend about his specific milestones, knowing their feedback is honest rather than automatic praise. Without the roar of a virtual crowd, Gohan becomes intimately aware of his genuine strengths and weaknesses. This clarity spares him from the anxiety of, "What do they think?" and lets him lean wholeheartedly into, "What can I improve?" A curious shift happens. People around him start to sense a difference. They notice Gohan performing at a higher level, perhaps completing tasks more efficiently or showing refined skill in a hobby, yet he never mentions his progress unless asked. Colleagues or classmates see that he's grown in expertise but didn't broadcast it every step of the way. Naturally, questions arise. "Hey, you've gotten really good at this. When did that happen?" Their interest is unprompted and genuine. Gohan feels a deep satisfaction in these moments. He no longer has to chase external approval. It arrives organically, a byproduct of real work. Looking back, he can't help but think of Miyamoto Musashi's philosophy. Your sword shows your worth, no need to shout. The old samurai wisdom sinks in. Respect flows from what you consistently do, not from how loudly you say it. Gohan realizes that real mastery is magnetic. By embracing quiet success, he's discovered a fuller sense of confidence, one that can't be dictated by likes, comments, or fleeting applause. Don't show off is ultimately about replacing external validation with something far more enduring: internal growth. You've seen how Gohan pivoted from chasing shallow applause to quietly sharpening his skills, just like the samurai who let their swords do the talking. It's a powerful shift that frees you from the stress of who's watching and allows you to focus on what truly counts: mastery and genuine confidence. To recap the 3 steps: shift from external to internal validation. Journal or track your wins privately so growth becomes your personal benchmark. Carefully choose who sees your progress. Like the samurai, share only with those who offer real feedback, not empty praise. Invest in real skill development. Let your results speak for themselves, just as Musashi did. Are you ready to embrace silent success and let your actions shine? If so, hit that subscribe button for more samurai-inspired transformations.